Alright, this is it. Behind me is my studio. There's like a different view. Let's try to flip the camera, but I guess I can't. Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. So my name is Adriana, for the ones that don't know me. If you're being here, welcome back. And if you're new, subscribe so you can get all these videos. So today I want to make a brief review of the PMA conference. For the ones that are not related with the word PMA, PMA stands for Pilates Method Alliance. And I just recently came back from the conference. This year was in Monterey, California, which was a beautiful place to visit. Anyways, so I just want to give my brief review about the conference and just let you know how it is and what it is, and if you're considering to go, so that way you have like a better understanding of what's going on there, so you see if you're missing anything you're interested on or you're not missing anything, right? So anyways, the conference happens every year in different states in the United States, and the goal of this conference is to create a forum for instructors and Pilates professionals or medical professionals to teach workshops and share their passion and share their knowledge with other Pilates enthusiasts and Pilates professionals. And as a Pilates instructor, when I'm as a PMA certified Pilates instructor, we are required to keep our education updated and try to keep our standards very high, which is what we are required to do, right? So in order to keep your PMA certification, you need to complete 16 CCs every 2 years. And so when it comes to going to the conference, I feel like this is a very smart way to complete all your 16 CCs in one trip. And I think that's pretty cool. And it's also a good opportunity for you to get out of town and travel and see all these other Pilates professionals and all these people that is very passionate about the same things that you are, which is great. So yes, overall, yes, it's a good investment to go to the conference if you are already a PMA certified instructor, and if you are looking to get your CECs. This is a great way to do it. One trip, 3 days, workshops from 7:30 a.m. to sometimes 5:45 p.m. and then you're good to go day after day after day. 3 days of that and you're good. I usually do that every other year only. And not because I don't like it, but because again, I only need 16 CCs every 2 years. So going one trip and just applying myself and doing all my CCs in 3 days, that's the best choice. Also, it's getting a little bit more expensive every year, and I totally understand that from the business perspective. Get that. So I'm not complaining about the price. The price is right. The price is right. But if you are not required to complete CCs, I think it's kind of like an expensive investment. If you're nearby and you can drive there, go for it. But if you're not that near, and then you have to pay for your airfare expenses or your rental car expenses, gas, food, all that stuff, it's kind of pricey. So in other words, if you are a student in training and you're not PMA yet, I think it's a great way, going to the conference, it's a great way to see what the PMA is about and kind of get to know, the elders of the Pilates industry. There's still a few of them that attend the conference, and you can get to know all these professionals and all these more knowledgeable people that can guide you and to what direction to take when it comes to your career and what your approach should be and all these things. But I think that if you're not required, to get CECs or anything like that, and it's kind of expensive. So I have one way that you can do it for less. So what you can do is, I have a Pilates teacher training in my studio, and I usually suggest or encourage my students to become PMA members. They become PMA members and they get the student membership, and with that they get access to low-cost liability insurance during their training, and they also get a lot of discounted links for like equipment, clothing, workshops, books, all these other things. And they also get the opportunity, I don't know if they still do that, but they've been doing that for years, where they send emails, invitations to people that will like to participate as a volunteer. Now, if you become a volunteer for the conference, yes, you're gonna be working a certain amount of hours, but you can also explore in your free time and attend classes, workshops, get free meals, and all these other things. But when you are a volunteer, it's not free, but you only pay $150 versus $715 or $815, which is what you pay for the full price when you're not a volunteer. And so if you are interested on knowing what the PMA is about, if that is even something you should pursue, and what is all about, what is the conference, what does it look like, what do I get out of it? If you are a student in training, become a PMA student member, become a volunteer, pay your $150 and try it, and you'll see what you can get out of it. But I have to admit, if you've never been at the conference and you are coming to the conference with the expectations of learning something new, like when it comes to movement, like new exercises, you will be disappointed, because the Pilates method is what it is. So what you learn in your comprehensive training, that's it, okay? Yes, there's gonna be a little of like an evolution, I will say, like more contemporary approach for some instructors. So when you come take classes at the conference, the movements are the same. The exercise movement is the same, but the flow and the cueing and the pace, the transitions might be a little different, right? From one instructor to another instructor. So yeah, you'll get that. So if you are not an experienced instructor, if you are a new instructor and you're still developing your style, I think that going to the conference is really, really gonna be a great experience for you, because it's gonna allow you to see all the different approach from all these instructors and how everybody makes the movement look different, from very classical and pure, just as Joseph Pilates intended, to more like contemporary and more flowy, more attention to, I will say, breath and movement, like Garuda, right? Or, you're always gonna have the opportunity also to learn how to approach the movement for clients with special conditions. And that's the part I'm actually passionate about. Most of my clients here in La Jolla are a little bit on the older side, and even the younger clients that I had, they found Pilates through either a condition or a prior injury. So I love being able to cater to all those clients. And even though I have a lot of experience in movement as a fitness instructor, and then a Pilates instructor, and now Pilates teacher and all that, I do have a lot of experience in movement. But when it comes to injuries, you really need to know how to approach that client, how to help that client to make the session the best experience for them. So I think that that's like my favorite part of the conference, the ability to take those classes for special conditions. I actually took I took a few workshops this year, and I think my favorite one was the Kara Racer workshop. So if you're listening to this, which I doubt it, That was a great one. I love that you brought a physical therapist with you and you two co-teach that workshop. Him from the medical perspective and then you from the Pilates perspective, and all together was a great fusion. And I learned a lot. Even though I've been teaching for a while, but when it comes to conditions, there's always a different way to approach it. And I love how she respect the movement and respect the body, and she encouraged like the client natural way to move, and how she's like not forcing the client to work in a certain position because that's how we've been learning all these years. She's like, oh no, my client have the tendency to turn out, so I'm gonna respect that, and I'm just gonna teach him better biomechanics to like use the proper muscles, fire up the right muscles at the right time when it's moving, not only in a Pilates practice but also outside of the studio. And I really love that. And so those are the workshops that I wish they have more at the conference. So if you are a medical professional, physical therapist, all that, I've encouraged you to apply to be a presenter because that's what we need in the industry. And so that was it. That was my review for the PMA conference. If you have any questions about teacher training, and if you are a Pilates practitioner that's been doing it for a long time and you are very passionate about Pilates and you're thinking about exploring a career as a Pilates instructor, I'm here for you. You can email me. I'm gonna have my email down below in the description. You can also follow me on Instagram on adrianavargas Pilates, and you can see in my Instagram I have a phone number and an email address too, or you can also DM me on my Instagram and just ask any questions you have about teacher training. I'm here to help you find the best choice for you and whatever fits better with your your schedule and your goals, right? You just have to be really careful and make sure that the teacher trainings that you're picking is going to be providing you with everything you need in order to successfully complete your either 450, which is the minimum, up to like 500, 600 hours of required hours of training. So if you have any questions, or DM me. And again, this is Adriana Vargas, your Pilates mentor. See you soon. Thank you.